It was supposed to be a simple hiking trip, the kind couples take to reconnect. But somewhere deep in the woods, curiosity led them off the trail and straight into the heart of something monstrous. What happened to Ava and Daniel has haunted these forests ever since. They thought they were invincible. Ava and Denial, young, in love, and bitten by the wanderlust bug, decided to test their limits on a weekend hike through Silver Pine Forest. Everyone warned them, this place isn't on any real map. Locals talk of missing people and deep growls in the night. They shrugged it off. Scary stories, they said, but the forest had plans. Welcome to our channel where we tell hidden truths. Please press subscribe button for more updates. As they filled up at a lonely roadside gas station, the old attendant gave them a cold look. When they mentioned Silver Pine, his voice dropped. Don't go in too deep. Bears don't forgive, and this forest hides a massive one. They laughed, but Denial didn't. He tucked the warning away, sensing its weight. Ava teased him for his caution. They recorded everything, brimming with excitement. Camera rolling, they drove off, unaware the forest already marked them. By the time branches swallowed their footprints, the greatest predator of the woods was already stalking, waiting for night to fall. It wasn't fiction. This was real, and the camera they carried would capture every terrifying moment. By midday, Ava and Denial had made impressive progress into Silver Pine. Towering pines and thick underbrush enclosed them, the air growing dense and quiet. They filmed everything, each other's smiles, baby steps over hidden roots, the way light fractured through the canopy. They were explorers on a journey no one else had taken. But then came the signs. Not whimsical or decorative, fearsome. At first, it was claw marks on tree trunks, deep and ragged. Easy, Denial said confidently. Must be a black bear scraping. But the marks were over 6 feet. High. No black bear could reach that. The silence also changed. Birdsong faded into a stifling hush. Wind no longer rustled leaves. It pressed on them like a living thing. As the trail curled deeper, they discovered shredded gear, old ropes, a twisted hiker's boot tangled in roots, and scattered food scraps half buried. They instinctively recognized the aftermath of something big and dangerous. Instead of retreating, they pushed forward. The forest seemed to watch them Kino-style through their lens, each step echoing with unseen eyes. When they stumbled on the remains of an abandoned campsite, tent ripped apart, cooking gear twisted, they felt the first real pang of fear. Then they found it, a compact camera caked with mud. Denial wiped it clean and powered it on. The battery still held, and they watched horror unfold. The footage showed someone running through the woods, breath ragged, panicked. Then uproar, a crashing behind them. A scream cracked, and in the grainy frame, a massive bear lurked at the edge of light. Then darkness as the camera fell. The scream cut short. Ava and Denial stared at each other, camera dangling in Denial's hand. This was no ghost story. This was a bear, the apex predator, waiting. It had been here before them. They'd filmed its echo. They heard leaves crunch outside. They shut the camera, hearts racing. They tried to calm themselves, but the forest was sealing shut, and the bear had just been made aware of them. Darkness swallowed them as they set up camp beside the ruined site. Ava pitched the tent with shaky hands. Denial arranged logs around a small fire. Inside, the camera showed their pale faces set in uneasy concentration. They forced polite conversation, tried to laugh, but tension pulsed between them like a live wire. Midnight came. The woods carried a growing sound. Low grunts, branches snapping. Not wildlife normal, but large, methodical. Each sound rolled through darkness, pressing inward. Denial whispered, probably the bear scouting. Ava forced a nod. Then it came closer, heavy breathing, deep enough to disrupt the night air. The fire flickered. Outside, they heard it, claws scraping rocks just beyond the canvas. A low growl resonated. Ava froze. Denial fumbled for the camera. But the lens showed nothing in the dim light. Only thick cover. Only waiting. The forest held its breath along with them. Through the camera mic came a guttural snort, then a faint grunt. It circled, and then silence. They huddled inside that night, bags pressed together, listening. Any snap, any breath, any movement would register in the lens. It never happened again. Just emptiness. Just the sense of intelligence. The predator knew them. It was waiting for dawn. Daylight came crooked and gray. Ava's eyes were red-rimmed. Denial's hands trembled. Reality had settled in. They were being hunted. They gathered gear and tried to backtrack. But the forest had changed. Paths twisted, landmarks moved. GPS still dead. Even their compass wavered. Behind them, they heard it, branches exploding under weight. Large footsteps, heavier than any deer. They stopped. Ava froze. Denial swallowed hard as the bear crashed through the trees. Then silence. They sprinted off-trail, adrenaline scorching lungs. The bear was smart, cutting them off. It roared. That roar, deep and angry, made them flinch. Ava tripped. Denial caught her before she fell, but the bear's roar was closer. They stumbled into a boulder-strewn ravine. No trees, just rocks and shadows. Denial scanned for escape. They could hear it lumbering above. He grabbed the camera and looked at Ava. We need to keep rolling. She wouldn't stop trembling. Through the lens, they filmed their flight. Branches lashed. Their breaths came ragged and loud. Formidable movement above. The forest had become a trap. They turned a corner and came face to face with a massive clearing, and the bear, mid-charge, silhouetted, gashed, and enormous. It covered ground fast, barreling toward them. They sidestepped, powerless, lungs burning. Ava stumbled again. Denial reached for her, yanked her away, but the bear slammed into him. Metal and fur and bone-crunching impact. Denial fell, dragging Ava to the ground. The camera hit the dirt, lens cracked, recording them. Denial shielded Ava with his body, whispered, "I love you." Then everything blurred in fur and blood. Static. The search teams combed every inch of the trail. The Silver Pine area, once a quiet refuge for campers, had transformed into the center of a frantic and grim investigation. The tents were shredded. Claw marks sliced through canvas and trees alike. What remained of Ava and Denial's gear was scattered across a 60-foot radius, as if thrown or dragged. Their camera was found half buried beneath a tree root, the lens cracked, but miraculously still holding some data. And the forest, though still and calm on the surface, carried an undeniable weight. Something had gone very, very wrong. When the footage was finally recovered and enhanced, the truth became horrifyingly clear. The couple had ignored multiple warnings, not only from the old man, but from park authorities and signage. The area was deep in grizzly territory, and recent weeks had seen an increase in bear sightings, including reports of an abnormally large and aggressive male grizzly. The video showed them hearing something at night, low growls, rustling, and then Ava's whisper, "Do you hear that? It's close." Then the camera tumbled. Muffled screams, a heavy breathing sound, a growl, and then silence. The screen went black. Forensic teams later confirmed what the footage hinted at, a grizzly bear attack. Massive claw marks on trees, hair samples, and bite patterns on some of the recovered clothing matched a single large male bear. DNA from saliva on Ava's backpack confirmed it. The bear had likely been stalking the camp for hours, drawn in by improperly stored food and emboldened by lack of deterrence.